Hey guys, I know I never reviewed The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, but consider this a replacement. If you still want to know how I feel about it, it's great. It's better than great. It's my second favorite Zelda game of all time, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. It keeps to the formula enough to be familiar, but it changes it up enough to be interesting. 10 out of 10. Now then, to the point of this video. The Legend of Zelda is basically just the Rocky Horror Picture Show of gaming. I don't mean this in a Citizen Kane of video games type of way, though I guess it is kind of similar. I mean it more as of a thematic or well, you'll see. Also, there will be spoilers for both Skyward Sword and Rocky Horror in this video, so just a heads up. First of all, and probably most importantly, both Skyward Sword and Rocky Horror's most prominent theme has to do with the maturation and exploring of a relationship. Both stories begin with the main couple, Brad and Janet in Rocky Horror, and Link and Zelda in Skyward Sword, as a naive couple participating in an important ceremony and then realizing the extent of their feelings for one another afterwards. In Rocky Horror, this is punctuated by the song Damn It Janet, and in Legend of Zelda, it's after the hero ceremony. After this acknowledgement of their feelings for one another, the lovers are separated from each other. In Skyward Sword, this is quick, sudden. Zelda is taken away from Link by a tornado. This process is a bit longer in Rocky Horror. After the storm and a flat tire, Brad and Janet find themselves at Frankenfurter's mansion. Don't worry, we'll get to him in a bit. And it's there where they become separated, in this case into separate rooms. Now we can go on to Frankenfurter and Girahim. Both are androgynous and challenge the male hero of the piece sexually. In Rocky Horror, this is done in two parts. The first part is when Franken veils Rocky, who is supposed to be the perfect male specimen, and emasculates Brad by comparison. The second part is when Frank has sex with Brad. In The Legend of Zelda, Girahim challenges Link through a series of duels. Now, unlike Rocky Horror, where Brad's manliness is systematically taken away, Link's is challenged but ultimately increased through his ordeals. The game is about Link powering up his sword, and it turns out that the sexually aggressive Girahim is a sword all along. It's, very Freudian, to say the least. But enough talking about the men. Now let's talk about the women of both works. Both Zelda and Janet are empowered through their journeys. Instead of being intimidated by sexuality like Brad, Janet embraces it and has sex with Rocky. Through this, she takes control of her femininity and sexuality. Meanwhile, Zelda embraces and becomes the goddess Hylia, and we find out that it was her actions that orchestrated the entire plot of the game all along. It should also be noted that both characters primarily wear white. With Zelda, it's taken as a sign of her holiness, but with Janet, it's juxtaposed with her having sex. Though she may no longer be pure, she is still a woman and comes out of the situation better than she entered it. Another similarity between Rocky Horror and Skyward Sword is that they're both tributes of sorts of the genres they pastiche. Rocky Horror was made in response to numerous B-horror and sci-fi movies, while Skyward Sword celebrated The Legend of Zelda's 25th anniversary and attempted to explain the history behind the franchise's overall plot, as well as pay homage to the games that came before it. Both Rocky Horror and Skyward Sword also revolutionized interactivity in their respective mediums. Rocky Horror is probably most famous for its midnight screenings and audience participation, which is a very different experience compared to the relative silence most other movies are watched in. Skyward Sword revolutionized how motion control is used in gaming, and turns the game from something to be played with a few presses of a controller into a fully immersive experience. Also in both, there be time warps.